Hi guys, I've had some questions around how to get your click rate or your click-through rate up in Google Analytics or Google Search Console. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about here, your average CTR. So the CTR is how much, when someone sees your page in the Google search results, they click on your link. And there's a few things that ultimately affect that. So if we look at average position, if you're on page 8 or your result number 80, then it's unlikely anyone's going to click on you, because by the time they're on page 80, they're just scrolling, like they're not really clicking every link. And also your title, so how strong your title is on the page. So I'm gonna take a look at the pages that I'm currently ranking for. Let's see if I'm zoomed in enough so you guys can see. So on here, and also I'm just going to turn on average position and click-through rate. So on here, you can see that all of these ones that are ranking quite highly, well, that's ranking really high, but that's a branded term. I'm on pages, sorry. Like if we go on here, like you can see all these click-through rates really, really high. You can see how quickly it drops off from second, which is 10%, to fourth, which is 5%. 11% again. These are all. Am I in the way? Maybe I'm in the way, but let me see if I can hide myself. There we go. So as you can see, like being higher up obviously gives you a much higher click-through rate, but that's not to say that you can't do really well. So here I'm getting 23% click-through rate, whereas something else that's in rank 2 is only 10%. So it depends as well on your title, very much so. So one thing we're going to do is we're just going to look at what query we're getting a lot of impressions for, but not a particularly high click-through rate. So here, brilliant. I'm not going to do that one because it's ranked 90. So here we go. In fact, no, let's not do a calculator because that's an actual tool. Let me just remove calculator from the query. Just make it something more that you guys can follow along with. In fact, let's tweak that even better still. Let's change the page to include /blog. You got to remember that Article Fiesta is also a tool. It's not just a blog website, so it's not necessarily something you can easily copy. So let's look down here. You can see my click-through rate's actually really good. So I want impressions. Here we go. So here we are. This one's in 8.4. So it's on for I should read my things first. I've not got a very good example on this website, I don't think. AI to generate reports. These are all report generators. Here we go. This one's got 0% click through, and it's on page 1. It's got 100 impressions, so it is copying AI plagiarism. Sorry that I had to click through so many pages, but it is what it is. So this thing's actually dropped off, probably because the click-through rate's terrible. So I know that people are searching for is copying AI plagiarism. If I actually look at the page that this is on, let's look at what the title of this page is. I love the image. And is it plagiarism if I copy an artificial intelligence? So actually, that title's not too bad. However, what we need to think about is whether people actually know that artificial intelligence is what AI is. Like, I know that, but people are searching for AI. They might be searching for AI because it's the shortened version of it, but they might also be searching for AI because that's the only thing they know it is. I mean, also, people are searching specifically for is copying AI plagiarism, like that like it's there as the next H2, but it's not in this little top bit here. So I could rank slightly higher by putting that in the very first paragraph. But we need to think about changing this title. So I'll tell you what, let's just jump straight into ChatGPT, shall we? Can you give me 10 suggestions for a blog post title that needs to optimize for the keyword of And then we just look at this. Which of those titles do you think is most likely to be clicked on if someone were to see it in the search results, and why? I mean, normally I would do a slightly different method than this, but I don't want to pull out too much. An AI copying versus plagiarism, unveiling the ethical conundrum. I don't actually like that too much. We want something that, can you try again? We're looking for something that's going to tell the user that the answer to their specific question is on the page. As you can see, yeah, something like that. That's perfect, because that, it's got their question. Oops. It's got their question. And it says, let's change it to we have the definitive answer. I don't like inside. But there we go. I've now answered the user's query. So if they're searching for that in Google, so I don't actually know what the top results are for that. What is the potential of AI writing? Do I plagiarize when I use Writeful? Is it plagiarism? Actually, it's going to be an easy keyword to rank for because it's Quora. Turn it in like some random website. Like Quetex, don't know what that is, but hopefully we should be ranking really easy for that. And it's going to pop up saying exactly the thing that they're searching for and say, hey, we've got the answer. Brilliant. And then obviously the post matches it. So you want to be doing stuff like this when you're looking through your search console and checking that the article that you're ranking for has like something that says to the user, yes, reading this content will satisfy your request. So if the request was like how to convert US to UK shoe sizes, like in the title you want something that says UK to US shoe size conversion chart or something like that, that just makes it blisteringly obvious that it answers what they want. On top of that, you also want to make sure that you occupy the most space possible. So if I search for dog, like I know that there's a bunch of short titles in this. You see how small that is? I know this sounds really weird, but that's hard to click on. Like if that was taking up much more space, so if it was taking the full 70 characters that it's allowed to take up, like this one, see how big that is? That's much more likely to get clicked on, even if it's a misclick by someone on their phone and a fat finger. But the more people click on you, the better you do. Like that, I mean, admittedly, oh, it's changed. Admittedly, like I'm searching for the word dog and it's a bit of a weird title, but it's very important that you take up as much as possible. So you can use word counter, you can use the free SEO tools on Article Fiesta. Like I'm not stressing for what you use, it's completely free. But in here, rather than dogs, we would have, in fact, what title did we just use? Oh, I've lost it. But like that's too short. But ultimately we want to be, I don't know, 55, not 70 then. We want to be 40 to 70, 30 to 60, sorry, 30 to 60. I can't remember. It changes color so that I can remember. Let me zoom in a bit more for you. But this changes color to tell you, yeah, like you've typed a good title or a bad title. You want to try really to get it as close to 60 characters as possible, because that's the maximum you're allowed. However, there's a small caveat to that, in that if I was to write all of the letter I is much shorter and doesn't take up as many pixels, because actually there's also a pixel width. So if I was to use the letter W, although I'm only at 30 characters here, like I can hit the limit. Yeah, there we go. I can hit the limit before I get to 60 characters because it's so long. And then on Google, all that's going to do is give us ... And we don't want ... because people need to read all of our title. Also, don't forget that sometimes you'll have like my mega title dash your site name. It depends on how you've got it set up. But that's all on you. There we go. The main point though is just that you need to focus on answering their question. Like, you don't need to do anything clever. We're not trying to do a clickbaity title, or maybe you do want to do a clickbaity title depending on your niche, but ultimately we want to be satisfying their search query, making sure that they can see our title and go, yep, that website's going to answer the question that I have or fulfill the need that I have and satisfy my issue. There you go. Pretty simple. I'll catch up with you soon.